Let's talk about Mel Robbins' let them theory. Picture this. You're at a party, you're dressed up, feeling good, but then your friend decides to hang out with someone else instead of you. Instantly, your brain goes, wait, what? Why are they ignoring me? Did I do something wrong? Should I go over there and remind them that I exist? And before you know it, your good mood has evaporated faster than your drink. That's exactly where Mel Robbins' idea swoops in like a calm, wise friend saying, hey, just let them. Mel introduced this theory not as some magical spiritual mantra, but as a practical mindset shift. It's her way of saying, stop driving yourself crazy trying to control people who are just out there living their own movie. The let them theory basically says that when someone does something you don't like, instead of trying to fix it, chase it, or force it, you simply let them. Let them cancel plans. Let them ignore you. Let them choose someone else. Let them make that weird decision. Let them live their life because you have one too. And you know what? Yours gets a whole lot better when you stop trying to manage everyone else's. See, most of us live like unpaid emotional babysitters. We spend our days worrying about who likes us, who texted us back, who didn't, and what it means. We twist ourselves into pretzels trying to make people happy, so they'll like us, approve of us, or at least not leave us on read. But here's the kicker. You can't control people, and trying to only makes you miserable. The let them theory is like saying, you do you, I'll do me, and we'll both be fine. When Mel came up with this, she wasn't sitting on a mountaintop meditating, she was frustrated like the rest of us. She realized that half of our stress comes from expecting others to behave the way we want them to. You think, my friend should have invited me. My coworker should have appreciated my effort. My partner should have texted me good morning. But the truth is, they didn't. And instead of spiraling into self-doubt or resentment, Mel says, let them. Because when you let people be who they are, you see who they truly are. That's the clarity we often avoid, but it's the clarity that sets you free. Think about it. When you stop chasing people, the right ones stop running. The people who genuinely care, who respect you, who value your time, they stay. You don't have to beg them, convince them, or perform for them. The wrong ones will naturally fade away, and that's not rejection, that's redirection. The let them theory is like emotional decluttering. You're cleaning out all the drama, expectations, and disappointment that come from trying to micromanage others' behavior. Mel explains it in a very down-to-earth way. Let's say your friends don't invite you out one weekend. Instead of sitting there scrolling through their Instagram stories with that tight feeling in your chest, thinking, why didn't they call me? You pause, take a breath, and say, okay, let them. Because their choice says more about them than it ever could about you. And the moment you let them, you stop being their prisoner. You free yourself from the emotional roller coaster that comes with trying to earn other people's approval. And here's the funny part, when you actually apply this theory, it feels weird at first. Like really weird. Because your brain is addicted to control. You'll say, let them, but 5 minutes later you're refreshing your messages like, maybe they changed their mind? No. This isn't about pretending not to care. It's about genuinely realizing that what people do is not your problem to fix. Your job is to protect your peace, not to chase chaos. You're not a detective trying to solve the case of why they didn't invite me. You're a human being who deserves peace of mind. Mel says this theory is like emotional judo. You use people's actions to your advantage instead of fighting them. Someone doesn't respect your boundaries? Let them. That teaches you what to do next. Not to overextend, not to explain yourself 1,000 times, not to keep showing up for people who don't show up for you. It's not passive, it's powerful. You're not ignoring them, you're just refusing to participate in the drama. You're saying, if that's how you want to roll, go ahead. I'll be over here living my best life. The beauty of the let them theory is that it flips the focus from others to yourself. You stop wasting emotional fuel trying to steer other people's cars, and instead, you drive your own. You start realizing how peaceful life feels when you're not trying to script it for everyone else. And something amazing happens. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. You attract people who match your peace, not your pain. You attract situations that align with your self-worth, not your insecurities. Now, let's be real, letting them doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It means you stop controlling them. There's a big difference. You can love people and still not agree with their choices. You can care deeply and still step back when something isn't healthy. Letting them is about emotional boundaries. It's choosing your sanity over your need to be right, liked, or included. It's a grown-up form of self-respect. Imagine how much energy you'd save if you didn't take everything personally. Your coworker's mood? Let them. Your partner's bad day? Let them. Your friend's flakiness? Let them. The moment you stop turning every situation into a reflection of your worth, you start feeling lighter. You stop being reactive and start being responsive. You stop trying to win people and start winning back your peace. The deeper message Mel Robbins is really teaching is about trust. Trust that you'll be okay even if people don't act the way you hoped. Trust that life is guiding you toward people and situations that align with your highest good. Trust that letting go doesn't mean losing, it means making space for better things. Because when you let them, you're not giving up, you're growing up. And sometimes the universe just needs you to chill. You don't have to chase every answer, fix every misunderstanding, or decode every silent treatment. You just have to say, let them, and keep walking. Because the more you do it, the more you realize, peace isn't about everyone liking you. It's about you liking you. And when you finally reach that point, other people's behavior stops having the power to shake you. So next time someone disappoints you, instead of spiraling, just channel your inner Mel Robbins. Take a deep breath, maybe even laugh and say, all right, let them. Then go get yourself some coffee, put on your favorite playlist, and remember, the only person you can control is the one in the mirror. And that's actually the best news ever. Because that's the only person who can make your life amazing. Let's break down this let them thing again. This time the core principle. Mel Robbins didn't just toss out this idea to sound deep on Instagram. No. She's giving you a survival tool for your mental peace. The basic idea? When someone doesn't invite you, doesn't listen to you, or suddenly starts acting like they've got amnesia about your existence, instead of spiraling into overthinking mode, you just say, let them. And before you roll your eyes thinking, that's it? Just let them? Hang tight. This little phrase packs more power than it looks. So here's the deal. Let them isn't about sitting back and letting people treat you like a doormat. It's not about giving up or pretending you don't care. It's about consciously choosing not to get dragged into drama that doesn't serve you. It's about emotional freedom. You're not being passive, you're being peaceful. You're not ignoring what's happening, you're deciding what deserves your energy. And honestly, most things don't. Let's say your friends make weekend plans and conveniently forget to invite you. Old you might have sat there thinking, did I do something wrong? Did they not like me anymore? Should I text them and ask? But new you, the let them you just shrugs and says, okay, let them. Because if people can forget you that easily, maybe they're not the people you need to chase. If they didn't think of you, that says something about them, not about your worth. And by letting them, you're not losing, you're learning. You're learning who actually values you without needing reminders. Here's the funny thing, our brains are addicted to fixing people. We're like emotional mechanics. Someone acts distant, and we're under the hood immediately, checking the connection engine. We start overanalyzing, was it something I said? Should I reach out? Maybe I'll post something cool on my story to remind them I exist. Sound familiar? Yeah, we all do it. But the let them mindset says stop it. Put down the emotional wrench. You don't need to fix what's not yours to fix. If someone is distant, let them be distant. If someone doesn't listen, let them not listen. If someone ghosts you, let them float away into the Wi-Fi mist. Because when you let them, you give yourself a gift, peace. You stop burning your emotional fuel trying to decode people's moods or motives. You realize it's not your job to manage how others act. It's your job to manage how you react. That's the real power here. Let them is emotional judo. You redirect the energy instead of resisting it. You don't push back, you just step aside and let the nonsense pass. Now, don't get me wrong, let them doesn't mean being cold or careless. You're not walking around saying let them to everything like a robot. You're not going to say, oh, my boss didn't pay me? Let them. No, that's not the move. It's not about surrendering your boundaries, it's about recognizing where your effort stops making sense. When it comes to relationships, communication, or emotional energy, once you've done your part, you don't chase. You don't beg. You let people show you who they are. Picture it like this. You're standing in a hallway with a bunch of doors. Every door represents a person in your life. Some are open, some are half shut, some slam right in your face. Your job isn't to kick the doors down. Your job is to notice which ones stay open when you stop knocking. That's the let them philosophy in action. Let people close their doors. The ones that matter will stay open on their own. This theory also saves you from emotional gymnastics. Because let's be honest, most of us are out here doing mental backflips to justify people's behavior. Oh, they didn't call because they're busy. They didn't invite me because they probably assumed I couldn't come. They ignored my message, but maybe their phone fell in a volcano. No. They just didn't prioritize you, and that's okay. Let them. You don't need to solve their mystery. You just need to move on with grace. When you stop chasing, something magical happens. Your peace of mind returns. You start feeling lighter. Your confidence grows. You realize you don't need validation from people who can't see your value. And you start noticing the people who do show up. Because they were always there, you were just too busy chasing the wrong ones to see them. Mel Robbins says the let them mindset is a form of self-respect. It's not detachment in a cold, numb way, it's choosing your sanity over your need for control. When you say, let them, what you're really saying is, I trust myself enough to not take this personally. And that's powerful. You're stepping out of emotional reactivity and into emotional maturity. Think about it. How many times have you exhausted yourself trying to make someone see your side, your value, your feelings? It's like screaming into a hurricane. You pour your energy into someone who isn't even tuned in to the same frequency. Let them teaches you to save that energy. Not everyone is meant to meet you where you are, and that's okay. The right people will. And you'll notice the more you practice it, the quieter your mind gets. The less you care about people's random moods, the less they affect you. Someone doesn't text back? Let them. Someone's acting shady? Let them. Someone's playing games? Let them, and maybe get yourself some popcorn while you watch from the sidelines. Because here's the secret. When you stop engaging in drama, the drama loses power. What makes this principle so freeing is that it shifts responsibility. You're no longer trying to manage the unpredictable, other people. You're managing the only thing you can control, yourself. That's emotional adulthood. That's confidence. And it's contagious. When you carry that calm, grounded energy, people feel it. The ones who love peace will gravitate toward you, and the ones who love chaos will quietly exit. Either way, you win. And yeah, it'll feel strange at first. We're so used to reacting that not reacting feels unnatural. The first time you let them, your brain will freak out. It'll whisper, but shouldn't we say something? Shouldn't we fix it? No. Let them. Go make yourself a sandwich. Go outside. Do literally anything that doesn't involve emotional detective work. The world keeps spinning, and guess what? You'll survive. In fact, you'll feel lighter than ever. So when someone doesn't invite you, doesn't listen, or acts distant, remember, your peace is not up for negotiation. You don't need to beg for inclusion, chase for attention, or prove your worth. You just smile, shrug, and say, let them. Because if they wanted to, they would. And if they didn't, you'll find better energy elsewhere. Life becomes a lot simpler when you realize you don't have to control everything, just your reaction. The let them mindset isn't about giving up on people. It's about giving up on trying to make people something they're not ready to be. You can still care, you can still love, just without losing yourself in the process. Letting them doesn't mean you stop feeling, it means you stop overfeeling for people who don't reciprocate. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. At the end of the day, let them is a love letter to your own peace. It's a quiet reminder that the people meant for you don't need convincing. The friends, partners, co-workers, and family who truly value you won't make you guess. They'll show up. And the ones who don't? Well, let them. Because you've got better things to do, like being happy, whole, and unbothered. Okay, picture this. You're lying in bed at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, your brain running a full-blown Netflix marathon called, Why Did They Do That? You're replaying a conversation from 3 days ago like it's the Super Bowl of heartbreak. You're analyzing their tone, their text timing, their punctuation. Why did they put a period at the end? Are they mad? Should I have said something different? And before you know it, you're emotionally exhausted, wide awake, and still have zero answers. That's where Mel Robbins' let them theory comes in, not just as advice, but as a total emotional detox. It's like hitting the mental clear cache button after your thoughts have been running wild all day. When you say let them, you're not just letting someone do whatever they want. You're letting yourself off the emotional hook. You stop obsessing over the why. Why didn't they invite me? Why did they act weird? Why didn't they text back? Why do they treat me like I'm invisible until they're bored? All those whys are emotional junk food. They fill your mind, but they don't nourish you. They keep you stuck in an endless loop of overthinking, and it's time to delete that playlist. Let them is the mental version of cleaning out your closet, except instead of throwing out old clothes, you're tossing out thoughts that don't fit your piece anymore. Here's the truth, replaying scenarios in your head doesn't change them. It just makes you relive the pain on repeat. You ever notice how your brain loves to take a 5-second awkward moment and turn it into a 2-hour documentary? You start adding music, slow-motion flashbacks, dramatic voiceovers. It's Oscar-worthy stuff, except it's also destroying your sleep and your mood. But when you whisper to yourself, let them, it's like unplugging the projector. You stop feeding the mental rerun. You stop analyzing every tiny detail of someone else's behavior. You stop trying to solve the mystery of why they're like that and just accept that maybe they're simply being who they are. And let's be honest, Sometimes people's behavior has nothing to do with you. They're not ignoring you because you said something wrong or because you're not good enough. Maybe they're just wrapped up in their own drama, or maybe they're emotionally constipated. Who knows? The point is, it's not your job to figure it out. Saying let them is like emotionally washing your hands. You're saying, whatever they're doing, that's their business. I'm not carrying that energy around anymore. That's not cold, that's smart. The cool part about this emotional detox is that you'll actually start feeling lighter, not just mentally but physically. When you stop replaying and rehashing every interaction, you free up so much mental space it's ridiculous. Suddenly, you can focus on things that actually bring joy. You can drink your coffee without thinking about that awkward conversation. You can go for a walk without checking your phone every 5 minutes. You can finally listen to a song without turning it into your personal breakup soundtrack. Let them is like decluttering your mind Marie Kondo style. If it doesn't spark peace, toss it. But the detox isn't instant. Oh no, your brain is going to fight back at first. It's going to say, wait, don't let it go. We haven't figured out the hidden meaning behind that emoji yet. That's your emotional hoarder talking. Your mind loves to collect unfinished situations because it thinks closure comes from understanding what happened. Spoiler alert, closure doesn't come from knowing, it comes from accepting. Let them is the fast track to that acceptance. It's saying, I don't need to know why. I just need to move on. Now let's talk about emotional clutter, because wow, we all have plenty of it. Emotional clutter is that mental junk drawer filled with what ifs, should haves, and I can't believe they said that. It's the stuff you mentally trip over every time you try to relax. You know you're emotionally cluttered when a random song, smell, or meme can send you spiraling back into a situation you swore you were over. Let them is like taking a big deep breath and sweeping all that nonsense out the door. You stop trying to rewrite the past or script the future. You just deal with what's real right now. Think of it like cleaning your emotional house. Some people and situations are like expired food in your fridge. They're taking up space, they smell bad, and honestly they're starting to mold. You don't need to keep opening the door and sniffing it. You just throw it out. Let them is your mental garbage day. You're choosing to keep your energy fresh and clean. And here's the kicker. When you start clearing out all that old emotional gunk, you make room for better stuff. Better relationships. Better focus. Better sleep. You know, peace, that thing you forgot you could actually feel. Here's a real-world example. Say someone you care about starts pulling away. You notice the texts are shorter, the conversations less frequent, the vibe a little off. Your first instinct is to analyze it like a crime scene. Okay, what changed? Was it that joke I made last week? Did I come on too strong? Are they mad? But what if, instead of playing detective, you just said, let them? Let them pull away. Let them do whatever they need to do. You don't have to chase them down for explanations or closure. If they're meant to stay in your life, they will. If not, you just saved yourself months of emotional chaos. The emotional detox also teaches you one massive truth. Not everything deserves a reaction. We live in a world that tells us we have to respond to everything instantly, texts, comments, drama, gossip. But peace comes from the pause. When you let things be, they lose power. When someone acts weird or rude and you don't match their energy, that's emotional mastery right there. It's like watching someone throw a ball of negativity at you and instead of catching it, you just step aside. Nice throw, but no thanks. Over time, let them becomes more than a phrase. It becomes a lifestyle. It's how you keep your inner world calm even when the outer world is acting ridiculous. It's how you stay focused when everyone else is distracted. It's how you protect your vibe when people try to drag you into theirs. And guess what? The people who truly care about you, they'll notice. They'll respect your calm. They'll match your peace. The rest? Well, you already know. Let them. So yeah, saying let them might sound simple, but it's really emotional alchemy. You're turning anxiety into acceptance. You're turning overthinking into clarity. You're turning chaos into calm. You're no longer the main character in everyone else's emotional movie, you're the director of your own. And that's the ultimate detox. You stop living in reaction to others and start living in alignment with yourself. At the end of the day, you don't owe anyone your mental energy, especially people who disrupt your peace. You owe it to yourself to stay sane, grounded, and free. So next time your mind starts playing reruns of, why did they do that? Grab the remote, hit stop, and say, let them. Because peace isn't found in understanding everything. It's found in not needing to. And once you get the hang of that, your brain will finally stop feeling like a crowded mall and start feeling like a quiet Sunday morning. Let's dive into one of the sneakiest emotional traps we humans fall into. Trying to control people. Oh yeah, you've done it. Don't lie. You've tried to change someone's mind, fix their attitude, or help them see your side because of course you're right. We all do it. Mel Robbins, though, calls us out on this in the most loving way possible. She says there's a big difference between control and influence. And understanding that difference? That's emotional freedom, baby. Control is anxiety in action. Influence is peace in motion. Let's break it down. So, control is when you're basically trying to play God in someone else's life, adjusting, correcting, and editing their behavior like you're the director of their personal movie. You know, that voice in your head that says, if they just listen to me, everything would be fine. That's control talking. You want them to act, speak, or think a certain way, your way, because it would make you feel safer. It's not that you're evil, it's just that control is our comfort blanket. We think if we can predict other people's behavior, we can protect ourselves from pain, disappointment, or rejection. But spoiler alert, it doesn't work. You can't control people, you can only drive yourself nuts trying. Let's say you're texting someone and they're taking forever to respond. Control mode kicks in instantly. Maybe if I send one more message, just a funny meme, to remind them I'm alive. Or, I'll just double text, not in a needy way, just a casual follow-up that screams desperation. And then you start analyzing your entire relationship based on their typing speed. That's what control does, it hijacks your peace. You're not living in the moment, you're living in their inbox. You're so busy managing their reaction that you forget to manage your own sanity. Now, influence, that's a whole different energy. Influence isn't about forcing someone to change, it's about inspiring them to. It's not, I'll make them see it my way, it's, I'll live my truth and maybe they'll see something in it that moves them. Influence is freedom-based because you're no longer attached to the outcome. You're not manipulating, convincing, or controlling, you're just being real. And the beautiful thing is, authenticity is magnetic. When you live honestly, calmly, and confidently, people feel it. They may not always follow, but they notice. Mel Robbins says control comes from fear. Fear that things won't go your way, fear that people will disappoint you, fear that you'll get hurt if you don't keep your hands on the wheel. Influence, on the other hand, comes from trust. Trusting that you can handle whatever happens, trusting that your peace doesn't depend on anyone else, and trusting that people will figure out their own path. Control screams, do it my way or I'll lose my mind. Influence says, here's who I am, take it or leave it. Guess which one feels better at 2 a.m. when you're trying to sleep? Think about it like this. Control is like trying to steer someone else's car while they're driving. You're leaning over, grabbing the wheel, shouting directions, and all it does is make everyone crash. Influence is like leading by example. You stay in your lane, drive smoothly, and maybe they'll notice and adjust their driving. You're not yelling, you're showing. That's power. And this is where most of us mess up. We think controlling someone is helping them. I'm just trying to make them better, we say. But if someone doesn't want to change, no amount of lecturing, texting, crying, or posting vague quotes on your Instagram story will do it. You can't drag people into growth. You can only live your growth so loudly that it echoes. You influence others by how you handle your own stuff, how you stay calm in chaos, how you set boundaries without drama, how you choose peace over control. That's influence. Mel's point is that control is rooted in anxiety. It's the illusion that if you manage everything and everyone, you'll be safe. But life doesn't work that way. People are unpredictable. Situations are messy. Trying to control it all is like trying to stop the wind with a fishing net. You just end up tangled in your own trap. Influence, on the other hand, is rooted in freedom. You're free because you've accepted that your power ends at the edge of your own behavior. You control your thoughts, your actions, your responses, and that's it. Everything else? That's not your circus, not your monkeys. Here's a relatable example. Imagine you're in a relationship and your partner has some habits that drive you absolutely insane. Maybe they're always late. Maybe they leave socks everywhere like a trail of breadcrumbs. Control mode would have you nagging, reminding, complaining, and slowly morphing into the household's chief sock inspector. You'll say, if I don't keep on them, they'll never change. But all that happens is you become tense, resentful, and exhausted. Influence mode looks different. You calmly set boundaries. You say what you need once, clearly, respectfully, and then you stop policing. You model respect, you model calm, and sometimes, that alone influences people more than all the yelling in the world. Influence isn't passive, it's powerful. You're not ignoring problems, you're choosing a better way to deal with them. Control is reaction. Influence is intention. Control tries to manipulate outcomes. Influence trusts the process. Control drains your energy because it's fueled by fear. What if they don't change? What if I get hurt? Influence gives you energy because it's fueled by peace. I'm doing my best and that's enough. Here's something Mel Robbins says that hits hard. Control is about getting others to behave differently. Influence is about behaving differently yourself. Boom. That's the truth bomb right there. You can't make someone kind, honest, or motivated. But you can choose to be kind, honest, and motivated, and that example might just inspire them. Influence works like sunlight. It doesn't force the flower to bloom, it just creates the conditions for it. And when you start living from influence instead of control, everything feels lighter. You stop taking things personally. You stop trying to make people like you understand you or act right. You stop fighting reality. Instead, you focus on what's within your power, how you show up, how you speak, how you respond. And that's when you realize you never needed to control people to feel safe. You just needed to trust yourself enough to let go. It's kind of funny when you think about it. The moment you stop trying to control others, they often start behaving better anyway. Because no one likes to be managed, but everyone responds to authenticity. Control pushes people away, influence draws them in. It's like the difference between grabbing someone by the collar and saying, "Listen to me," versus simply living so truthfully that they can't help but notice. So the next time you catch yourself trying to control someone, maybe you're editing your text 5 times before sending it or dropping not-so-subtle hints to get your point across. Pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, am I doing this out of fear or freedom? If it's fear, let it go. If it's freedom, keep it flowing. That one question can save you from 1,000 anxious spirals. Let's talk about relationships. The wild roller coaster where we scream, laugh, love, cry, and sometimes throw up emotionally. Whether it's romance, family, or friendships, relationships are where the let them theory from Mel Robbins really earns its gold medal. Because let's be honest, most of our stress doesn't come from the random stranger who cut us off in traffic. It comes from the people we love acting in ways we don't love. And when that happens, our inner control freak grabs the wheel like, "Move over, I got this." But Mel says nope, the real power is in letting them. See, in relationships, we all have this secret belief that if we love hard enough, help enough, explain enough, or forgive enough, we can fix people. That's the trap. That's codependency dressed up as kindness. Codependency is basically emotional babysitting. It's when your happiness depends on whether someone else is okay. If they're sad, you're sad. If they're mad, you're panicking. If they pull away, you chase. It's like your emotional thermostat is wired into their behavior. And that's exhausting. That's where let them comes in. It's your way out of that madness. Here's what Mel Robbins means when she says, let them in relationships. Stop chasing people who don't meet you halfway. Stop bending yourself like a yoga pretzel trying to fit into someone else's comfort zone. Stop trying to convince anyone of your worth. If they want to go, let them. If they stop calling, let them. If they don't include you, let them. Because their behavior is showing you what they're capable of, and that's valuable information. When you let people be who they are, you get clarity. And clarity is peace. Let's start with friendships, since that's one of the sneakiest places codependency hides. You ever have that friend who slowly stops texting you? The one who used to call you every weekend but now only pops up when they need something? Old you might have gone into overdrive, texting them first, suggesting hangouts, maybe even overthinking what you said last time. Did I say something wrong? Did I post something weird? But the let them, you takes a deep breath and says, okay, if they're pulling away, let them. Because friendships, just like anything else, need mutual effort. You can't carry both ends of the relationship forever. You'll get emotionally herniated. When you let a friend drift instead of forcing the connection, you might feel sad at first. But that sadness eventually turns into strength. Because now you're not begging for crumbs of attention. You're realizing your worth doesn't depend on how often someone includes you. You're seeing who actually makes space for you without being reminded. And sometimes, letting someone drift away opens space for new, healthier connections to come in. Friendships that don't require over-explaining, over-efforting, or emotional gymnastics. Now let's move into family. Oh boy. The ultimate test of the let them mindset. Family is where boundaries go to die, right? Everyone's got opinions, expectations, and emotional luggage from 1987. You might have a relative who criticizes you, a parent who doesn't listen, or a sibling who disappears until they need a favor. Normally, that stuff sends you into a guilt spiral. But they're family, you tell yourself as you bend over backward for the 10th time. But the truth is, blood doesn't give anyone a free pass to drain your peace. Let them in family relationships means you stop trying to make everyone happy, because that's a full-time job with zero benefits. It means if your uncle wants to be grumpy about your choices, let him. If your mom doesn't understand your lifestyle, let her. If your cousin keeps competing with you like it's the emotional Olympics, let them. You can love your family without getting sucked into their patterns. You can care about them and still protect your peace. You don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. Sometimes the healthiest response is silence, followed by a snack and a nap. And now the big one. Romantic relationships. The place where all our childhood wounds put on fancy clothes and go out dancing. This is where control really likes to show up disguised as love. You might think, I'm just trying to help them be better. But what you're often doing is trying to manage them, manage their emotions, their reactions, their growth. You want to fix, teach, heal, or guide them like you're auditioning for the role of therapist in training. But here's the harsh truth Mel Robbins is pointing to. You can't love someone into changing. You can only love them as they are, and decide if that's enough for you. If your partner doesn't text back, let them. If they don't make an effort, let them. If they start acting distant, let them. You don't chase, convince, or beg. You observe. Because their consistency, or lack of it, tells you everything you need to know. And when you stop trying to control their behavior, you start seeing reality clearly. You might realize, wow, they don't prioritize me like I do them. Or maybe, they're not emotionally available. Painful? Sure. But freeing? Absolutely. Because clarity saves you years of confusion. Now, let them doesn't mean you stop caring or communicating. It doesn't mean you turn cold or start ghosting everyone. It means you practice emotional self-respect. You express yourself once, honestly and calmly, and then you release the outcome. You don't chase after people who show you they're not ready or willing to meet you where you are. You don't twist yourself to fit into their version of love. You let them show you their capacity, and you adjust your expectations accordingly. That's not cruelty, that's maturity. You know that phrase, if they wanted to, they would? The let them mindset is basically the upgraded version of that. It's about stepping out of fantasy and into reality. Because when you stop controlling and start observing, you see people for who they really are, not who you hope they'll become. You realize that love isn't about convincing someone to care, it's about connecting with someone who naturally does. And something magical happens when you start applying this mindset consistently. Your relationships become lighter. You stop clinging, you stop chasing, and you start choosing. You no longer operate from fear. What if they leave? You operate from confidence. If they leave, they were never mine to begin with. You become peaceful instead of paranoid. You become selective instead of desperate. And that shift changes everything. You'll also notice that when you stop trying to control people, the right ones start showing up, effortlessly. You'll attract people who match your energy, not your anxiety. People who communicate, not manipulate. People who reciprocate, not drain. What? Because your peace becomes your filter. You're no longer magnetized to chaos. You're magnetized to calm. And yes, some people will leave when you stop chasing. Let them. That's the point. The ones who are meant to stay won't need to be begged. They'll choose you the same way you choose them. Because love, friendship, and family, the real kind, don't need force. They need freedom. So if a friend stops including you, let them. If your partner doesn't meet you halfway, let them. If a family member keeps repeating the same toxic pattern, let them. Don't fight their behavior, observe it. Because every time you let someone show you who they are without trying to fix it, you save yourself from years of disappointment. You know that feeling when you've spent way too much time worrying about what someone thinks of you, replaying conversations, overanalyzing texts, and wondering if you should have added an emoji or not? Yeah, that's the emotional version of running on a treadmill. You're exhausted, but you haven't actually gone anywhere. That's where Mel Robbins' "let them" theory steps in like a calm friend holding a latte saying, "Babe, step off the treadmill. You're allowed to rest." Because at its core, let them isn't just about letting other people be who they are. It's about reclaiming your power so you can finally focus on who you are. See, we waste a ridiculous amount of energy trying to manage how other people see us. We're like emotional campaign managers, constantly trying to win votes of approval. Do they like me? Did I say the right thing? Should I have been funnier? Quieter? Smarter? Taller? It's exhausting. And spoiler alert, even if you do everything right, you still can't control how someone feels about you. People will misread, misunderstand, and misjudge you no matter what. The let them theory is about realizing you don't need to fix that, because their opinion isn't your homework. Mel Robbins basically hands you the permission slip you didn't know you needed. Permission to stop trying to make everyone else happy and start aligning with what actually makes you happy. It's like switching from being the people-pleasing intern in your own life to being the CEO of your peace of mind. You stop outsourcing your worth to the world and start sourcing it from within. And that's when things start to shift, because suddenly you're not begging for approval, you're building self-respect. Now, Let them doesn't mean you stop caring about people altogether and turn into a robot with zero empathy. It means you finally stop contorting yourself to get validation. When you let them, you free yourself from chasing acceptance that was never guaranteed. You realize that your value isn't up for negotiation, it's already there. You were born enough. You just forgot because you were too busy trying to prove it to everyone else. Think about how much time and energy you've spent worrying about how you come across. Maybe to coworkers, family, or that one person you're low-key trying to impress. All that emotional effort could have been used to build something amazing, to explore your passions, to grow. But instead, it got spent on overthinking what someone's text "okay" really meant. Spoiler, it meant okay. When you let them, you take that energy back. You stop living like a background character in someone else's story and start being the main character in your own. Here's where it gets really cool. When you stop obsessing over others' opinions, your creativity skyrockets. Because creativity can't thrive when your brain's running on insecurity. Have you ever noticed that your best ideas come when you're relaxed and not trying too hard? That's because your mind's free. When you're constantly worried about what people will think, it's like you're trying to paint while someone's shaking your elbow. You can't create anything meaningful in that kind of chaos. Let them is basically emotional noise-canceling headphones. It blocks out all the unnecessary static so you can focus on what truly matters. And guess what? When you reclaim that energy, you start glowing differently. You walk into a room and people can feel that confidence. You stop apologizing for existing. You stop dimming your light so others won't feel insecure around you. You start speaking up more, laughing louder, taking risks, and chasing dreams that used to scare the heck out of you. Because you finally get it, you don't need everyone to like you to live a great life. You just need to like yourself. Let's be real. Most of the time, people's opinions aren't even about you. They're projections of their own insecurities, fears, and experiences. When someone doesn't like what you're doing, it usually says more about their worldview than your worth. So why let that define your day? Imagine how freeing it is to wake up and not immediately wonder, what will people think if but instead ask, what do I think about this? That's personal empowerment right there, the moment your inner voice becomes louder than the crowd's. Now, don't get me wrong, letting go of approval addiction is not easy. Your ego will fight back. It'll whisper things like, but what if they judge me? Or what if they leave? But here's the plot twist. The people meant for you won't leave when you show your true self. The ones who matter will stay, not because you're perfect but because you're real. And the ones who walk away, let them. They're just making room for people who appreciate your authenticity. Let them is emotional minimalism. It's cleaning out the mental clutter of what do they think, and replacing it with what feels right for me? It's realizing that your peace is too expensive to spend on other people's opinions. It's finally understanding that the world doesn't need a more agreeable version of you, it needs the honest one. Here's something funny. Once you stop chasing people's approval, you actually start attracting better people. It's like the universe goes, oh, you respect yourself now? Cool, let me send more people who do too. Your boundaries get stronger, your standards rise, and suddenly you're not begging for crumbs of validation. You're sitting at a full feast of self-worth. And let's talk about growth. When you let go of controlling others, you create space for you to evolve. Because you're no longer stuck trying to fix or please everyone, you can finally focus on improving yourself. Your mindset, your habits, your dreams. You start asking better questions like, what kind of life do I want? Instead of, what will they think if I do this? That's where true empowerment happens, when your motivation shifts from fear to freedom. You know those moments when you do something bold, like posting that project, speaking your mind, or making a big decision, and for a second you panic, thinking, oh no, what will people think? The let them mindset jumps in right there like a supportive friend saying, they might think whatever they want, let them. And suddenly you exhale. Because you remember you're not here to perform, you're here to live. At its core, let them is a self-trust exercise. It's telling yourself, I don't need permission to be myself. It's realizing that your happiness, your peace, and your purpose don't come from external applause, they come from internal alignment. When your actions, values, and energy line up, you feel unstoppable. You start living in flow instead of friction. You stop asking, am I enough? And start saying, I am. And that's the magic of it. When you truly let them, you finally let yourself. You let yourself rest, create, love, and grow without needing everyone to understand or approve. You stop living like a puppet pulled by other people's strings and start dancing to your own rhythm. You rediscover that spark that was buried under all the people-pleasing and second-guessing. Let's get into the brainy part of this, literally. Mel Robbins' let them theory isn't just emotional advice. It's psychological rewiring with a side of peace and sanity. It's like sending your brain to therapy without the copay. She basically says that when you practice let them, you're not just acting chill on the outside, you're reprogramming your mental software from panic and overthink mode to observe and redirect mode. You're teaching your brain that rejection doesn't mean, I'm not good enough. It means wrong direction, move on. It's not rejection, it's redirection. And that's a massive shift in how your mind works. Let's be real, your brain's default setting isn't peace, it's survival. It's been trained since caveman times to freak out the second something feels off. Back then, rejection from the tribe meant you might literally starve or get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. Fast forward a few thousand years, and now that same ancient wiring freaks out when someone leaves you on read. Your brain can't tell the difference between emotional pain and physical danger. Someone ignoring your text triggers the same stress hormones as if a bear just walked into your living room. That's why it hurts so much. Your brain's like, we're under attack, when really you just got ghosted. This is where let them comes in as the ultimate brain hack. Every time you say let them, you're gently rewiring that panic circuit. You're telling your brain, hey, it's okay. We're not in danger. This isn't a threat, it's just a preference. Theirs, not ours. At first your brain's like, wait, what? We're not going to spiral? We're not going to stalk their Instagram? We're just going to let them? But the more you practice, the more your brain starts to chill out. It begins to realize that rejection isn't deadly, it's just data. Information that helps you see who's aligned with you and who isn't. You're basically retraining your neural pathways to respond differently to disappointment. Instead of spiraling into overthinking, what did I do wrong? Why don't they like me? You learn to say, oh, okay. They're showing me something about themselves. You flip the script from self-blame to self-awareness. And the cool part? The brain loves repetition. The more often you choose calm over chaos, the stronger those new mental connections get. Before long, let them becomes your default response instead of your forced one. Imagine this. You text someone you really like and they take hours, or days, to respond. Old you starts the emotional Olympics. Overanalyzing every word, checking their stories, maybe even rewriting the text 5 times in your head. New, let them, you just shrugs and says, let them. That's it. Because if someone wants to take that long to reply, that tells you something. You don't internalize it as rejection. You treat it as redirection, the universe saying, next please. And that tiny mental shift is how you start rewiring your emotional responses. Your brain learns through association. For years, you've probably associated rejection with pain, shame, and insecurity. That's what creates those gut punch feelings when something doesn't go your way. But when you consistently respond with, let them, your brain starts building a new association. Rejection equals clarity. It's no longer a personal attack, it's feedback. It's a sorting process that saves you from wasting time on people or situations that don't fit. That's not painful, that's protective. And the science backs this up. When you practice emotional regulation, like saying, let them, instead of reacting, you engage the prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain. That part helps you think long-term and keeps your emotions in check. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, like a mental muscle. Meanwhile, the amygdala, your emotional alarm system, chills out because it realizes there's no real danger. Over time, your stress responses weaken, your confidence strengthens, and you become emotionally bulletproof. Let's put it this way, let them is like installing an emotional spam filter. Before, every little rejection or criticism went straight to your inbox. They didn't invite me, they ignored my idea, they unfollowed me, ding ding ding. Your brain was flooded with alerts. But now you've got a filter. Anything that doesn't serve your peace just goes straight to trash. No notifications, no drama, just quiet. And that quiet? That's freedom. The best part about this rewiring is that it doesn't just help you handle rejection better, it helps you redirect your energy. Because let's be honest, when you're obsessing over why someone doesn't like you, that's energy you're not using to build your life. You could have written that book, started that side hustle, learned to play guitar, or taken a nap, and naps are sacred. Every why don't they thought is an emotional leak. Let them plugs those leaks. It takes all that wasted emotional fuel and reroutes it into something productive. And let's not forget the humor in it, because once you start doing this, it's almost funny how peaceful you become. People will act up, do something flaky or rude, and instead of losing your mind, you just smile and say, let them. Like some kind of enlightened monk who drinks iced coffee and minds their business. It's not that you don't care, it's that you care differently now. You care about your mental peace more than your ego's need for approval. And that's when you start feeling unstoppable. Here's what's wild: your brain actually begins craving that peace. The more often you respond calmly, the more dopamine you get from being grounded instead of reactive. That's right, staying chill literally feels good to your brain. You start getting a little mental high from not overreacting. You're basically training your nervous system to prefer peace over panic. And let me tell you, once your brain gets a taste of that calm, it never wants to go back to chaos. Over time, let them become second nature. Someone cancels last minute? Let them. A friend drifts away? Let them. A coworker takes credit for your idea? Let them. Because now you know that every rejection, every disappointment, every weird interaction is just a redirection, away from what's not for you and toward what is. You stop needing validation because your brain's learned that peace is the reward, not people's approval. And here's the biggest transformation: your self-worth becomes untouchable. Before, rejection would shake your confidence like an earthquake. Now it barely rattles you, because you've trained your mind to see rejection as a filter, not a failure. You realize that every no just gets you closer to the right yes. Every person who walks away clears space for someone better. Every missed opportunity is just life saying, "There's something better coming, chill out." Eventually, this mindset starts bleeding into everything: your career, your goals, your relationships. You become emotionally resilient. You stop getting stuck on who didn't choose you and start focusing on what you choose next. You realize that peace isn't something people can give you or take away. It's something you create every time you say, "Let them." So yeah, Mel Robbins wasn't exaggerating. Let them isn't just advice, it's brain training. It's you consciously rewiring your emotional reactions one situation at a time. It's teaching your nervous system that rejection isn't danger, it's direction.